If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We hope your experience is fruitful. Please feel free to visit our website to find out how you can join our growing family. While we are loading your experience, please do us a quick favor and hit that like button from whichever platform you're watching or listening on. Also, share so others may enjoy as well. And we hope you would consider hitting that subscribe or follow button so you can check out more of our amazing content. All right, let's start the show.
Hello. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to She is Shenomenal. If you are watching us for the first time, welcome. I'm your host, Tasha Champion. If you are a regular that tunes in every week, welcome back. And thank you so much for joining. I am back, you guys. I've been literally like on a 2.5 month hiatus. And it wasn't even about like whether it was season 1, season 2, going into season 3. It was really about my self-care. Some things were happening in life, from loss to business to brunching to family. It was so much going on. And I started to get overwhelmed. And if you know anything about me, I do not get overwhelmed. I have a lot of tools in place that give me so much support to make sure that I am monitoring how I'm feeling, that I'm monitoring where my energy levels are, if it's authentic, if it's genuine, if it's in alignment with the things that I want to do. And I started feeling like not only was I completely out of alignment, but I felt like a puzzle in a million pieces. I didn't know what was up, what was down, what was left, what was right. And I was like, you know what? I have to really pause and shut down. And shout out to my friends, my family, my production team, because they all understood. And especially to my production team, who was like, you know what? When I kept saying like, oh, I'll come back right after the brunch. And it was like, Tasha, you need more time. Take the time that you need. And then I said, okay, well, it'll be August. And finally was like, Tasha, why don't you just come back in September? And that was hard for me, yes. But hey, Cupcake, thank you for joining. But at the same time, it was so needed. And that's why I think it was, nothing is by coincidence, right? It was, everything is on purpose. And September is self-care month. It is a month for self-care, even though you should be doing it all throughout the year. But this is a month that it is acknowledged. And I'm like, you know what? Coming back in September after having this intentional pause for myself. And then, of course, I always have to have like just fantastic people and women that join the show. And I'm like, I gotta have self-care queens on the show today, like those who really understand the power in their self-care. And so today we're going to be talking to Mika Morris and Camille Telicia. They are Shenomenal women. They are my Shenomenal co-authors. And if you watch my show, they are no stranger to She is Shenomenal. But these are also two incredible Shenomenal women who really keep me in tune with myself. If I call them, if I need to talk, like they make sure that I'm okay. And so not only are they my friends, but they are my sisters. They are, again, my co-authors. And I'm really honored to have them on because we're going to go deep today. This is not about just like, oh, make sure you attend the retreat, even though you should attend the Shenomenal retreat. But it's not just about that. Like, we're going to go deep into those pockets of self-care that maybe you don't think about. And I hope that this episode really supports you putting something in place. Maybe you have a great self-care regimen for your emotional self-care body, but maybe not your spiritual. And what does that look like? So we're going to take a quick commercial break because I want to make sure we give you guys all the time we can to go over these different topics. It's going to be a heavy and deep conversation. I'm really honored. So we're going to take a very quick commercial break. We're going to come back with Mika Morris and Camille Telicia, and we're going to dive right in. No breaks. We'll be right back.
Step away from the chaos and noise of your daily life. Experience moments for yourself that are calm, serene, and full of peace. A necessary respite to foster growth within you, because self-care should be luxurious. Luxe Noir.
All right, we are back and we are just going to jump right into it. Let's go ahead and welcome Mika Morris and Camille Telicia. Hey, ladies.
Hi.
I am so glad to have you guys. I've known each of you for a very long time, and it's always refreshing to make sure that you're surrounded by a sisterhood, because your sisterhood is actually part of your self-care, right? So before we go in, I know that both of you guys have been on my show before, but I'm going to give you 20, 30 seconds. Just introduce yourself real quick so that people know who you are. So I'll start with Camille.
Okay. Greetings, everybody, and thank you for having me again, dear friend Tasha Champion. I'm Camille Telicia, the Intentional Goddess, also host of Camille Over Chai, another show on Pyro Media Network. And I am a leadership and life design strategist and coach.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Miss Mika Morris, if you could introduce yourself.
Hi, Tasha. Hi, Camille. Thank you for having me once again. I'm Mika Morris, author, best friend to everybody, including myself. Hello.
Okay.
And mother, wife, friend. Yeah, just I'm a little bit of everything. So.
And host of
Conversations with Mika Morris and the co-host of the April and Tamika show.
Yes. If you guys are not watching the April and Tamika show on Thursdays on YouTube, go follow Mika Morris right now so you can make sure you get those notifications, because not only are they funny and engaging, but it is 100% REAL. Like 100%. And they give you some great perspective too. So that's what I really like. Hey, Sherelle, thank you so much for joining. Another one of our Shenomenal co-authors.
Hey,
thank you. All right. So just to start, from April to June, I was dealing with loss. I had a health issue. I had my brunch. And as all of these things are happening, I'm thinking Black Girl Magic on the screen. Yes, y'all better come get a load of all of this. I was thinking once the brunch happened, and I even said this at the brunch, all's going to be good now. Everything is kind of settling down. And it was after the brunch that really everything landed. And I had to really, and I say had to, normally I say I had the chance, but no, I really needed to just completely shut down. And I had that incredible opportunity and space to do that. But what I want to ask you guys, how do you know, Mika Morris, we'll start with you. How do you know when you are out of tune with yourself, where you need to shut it down for a moment? Because I feel like a lot of times we're so used to going and going and going and going that we don't even realize when we need to pause. We're out of alignment with ourselves. But how do you stay in tune with you to make sure that you know when you need to go, I'm done. I need to pause. I got to take a break.
As a Black woman in this society, it's so hard, but we have to. It's necessary. It is a necessary, yeah. I learned many, many moons ago, but how I know it now specifically is um, I never bought into the whole hormonal thing, and now I realize it's a real deal thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, um, so what I do now is when I can't sit with myself and like calm my spirit about any given thing, it's time for me to just take a break. And it's okay to rest. Sometimes that's looked upon like weird, why are you sleeping so much? What look, if you can't recharge and get yourself back in tune to who you're supposed to be, to your family, to your friends, to your job, to whomever, you're not going to be, you're going to show up funky. You know what I'm saying? And we know what that looks like. We see it all the time. Black girl burnout, right? So
Right.
for me, if I wake up and I feel like, ooh, I need more sleep, girl, I go get more sleep. I listen to my body. I listen to like how I interact with people. If I'm like snappy for no reason and it's just because I woke up, no, go back to bed. Go have a cup of coffee by yourself. Go sit in the sun. I know I need to recharge, and I need to do it right now, because if I'm not good, if I don't show up good in a good space, I'm no good for nobody, not even myself. And sometimes we won't listen to those cues. We're off balance. We're doing, we're doing the most for everybody, and then we want everybody to look at us like, we want everybody to look at us like we're Supergirl. But you're mean. You're mean girl right now.
Right.
You're
It's like we're
so
supposed to wear this badge of honor of
mm-mm,
like, oh, she does everything. She takes care of everything.
mm-mm,
And people treat us like we have to wear it as a badge of honor. And
mm-mm,
really it's just burning you out.
no.
Right. So
So
Camille, what about you? How do you stay in tune to know when you need to go? I'm done. I gotta pause.
So for me, it's two things. The first is my environment, especially like my bedroom. If it starts getting cluttered, if I see there's a lot of stuff just all over the place, that's my first cue. And usually it takes a couple days because it's probably a result of me
mhm,
doing too much. And then I look around and I'm like, oh, I can't even stand to be in my sanctuary right now. And so that's
right.
always a good cue. And then the second thing for me is my body literally tells me. I'm
Hmm.
fortunate enough to maintain a pretty standard, pretty healthy standard for my body. And anytime I start feeling like a little sniffly, or like if my throat starts getting a little sore, or just something that people would say, oh, you're getting sick, I'm like, oop, no, that's a sign that I'm also doing too much. I'm not resting enough. Like my body literally tells me, hey, you better sit down or this is going to become a thing. So
Mhm.
those are kind of
Yeah.
like my major two cues, and I literally just kind of got over that hump the last couple of weeks myself, so I'm very much present to them right now.
Right, right. So what we're going to do, and I love that you said like when you start feeling it, your body is saying sit down. And listen, what you guys have to understand is when your body tells you to sit down, you need to do it, because other than that, your body will put you down.
Yep.
And
Mm.
that is a very, very real thing. Very real thing. So you want to say something, Mika?
I wanted to know so many women around my age who literally had to be put down off of their jobs, off of like because of real health issues of going nonstop. You know, Sickness, and when you're out of tune and everything, it comes in your body. It comes
Right.
in the form of your skin,
Mhm.
not being right, your heart. It's real. It's stress, y'all, and we just keep going and going and going. Like, no, you're gonna be dead in a minute. Sit
Mhm.
down, sit down. Your body will tell you. And a lot of times we don't listen. Oh, I got a stomach ache. I got a belly ache. You probably have a real issue. Go get that checked on, sis.
Mhm.
Mm-mm.
Right.
We come up
Right.
with more
And
excuses not to do it than to actually go and take care of ourselves, which is, come
right,
on.
exactly. I'm going to give you guys, and you guys are welcome to jump in before I dive into this next topic. But understand that your body literally gives you clues. And so I just want to let you guys know, like when you're having a lot of stomach aches, constipation, diarrhea, pain in your stomach, you're probably stressing about finances being provided for, being taken care of, your safety. You might be lacking in your creativity, like that you want to be creative, but you're not doing it. If you're feeling a lot of like lower back pain, you have to ask yourself, where am I not allowing the support to come in? Because now everything is sitting in my lower back. If it's your shoulders, your neck, all of this is where we carry the weight. So where are you not distributing evenly and getting a balance? Knee pain, anything in your joints that's flexible. So where are you being too flexible for some people, or maybe not flexible enough in your own life? And if you're constantly dealing with headaches, you have too much going on. It's like your mind has scrabble everywhere, right? Because you are not, you like, there's nothing settled. So now your head is just like, what are we doing? Camille, you wanted to say something?
Oh no, that was just me. Just
the headache.
I know when I get a headache, or because I don't really have those, like I don't experience that often. So when it does happen, it's always sort of like a red flag, like, oh, what is going on? That's like an immediate sign to check in.
Yes, absolutely. So pay attention to what your body is doing and look at, okay, I'm feeling this in my stomach often. What does that really, really mean? Okay. Kwame says, take off the cape, queens. Yes, take off your cape. Tamika, go ahead.
I just want to add, you guys have health insurance. Use it. Use it. Use it. Like, I mean, y'all are paying into it. Go to the doctor. I had belly ache one day, just one day out of nowhere. It was kidney cancer. I was like, okay, my stomach's like weird. And my stomach's not weird. So that was a cue for me to go get checked up. So listen to your bodies, ladies. It's so important, you know.
And
I have a rule: more than 3 days is the doctor's appointment.
Yeah. And to Tamika's point, from my mom, it was something similar. She was having a lot of acid reflux, heartburn, stomach cancer. So and that one, though, some of those are very hard to heal.
Manage.
The faster you can get it, you can catch it, the better.
Right.
Yes. So let's go through our body and let's talk about the self-care of each, right? So I want to start with emotional. And the reason why I want to start with this is because I'm facilitating workshops for parents right now. And this time around, I'm honored because I have a couple of fathers in my class. And one of the fathers, when I said, what do you need? What self-care do you need? And he could only answer it if it pertained to his girlfriend or his children. And what he told me was, well, you know, I grew up in the projects. Asking for what I need was a no. It was about survival. It was about keeping your mouth closed. So no one had ever asked him, what do you need? No one ever asked him. So let's go through the body, and I want to ask you guys what you do for each of these in terms of your self-care. So let's start with the emotional body. Camille, I'm going to start with you. And if you guys don't mind, because both of you guys have experienced loss, how do you handle emotional self-care during a grieving time, right? Because as Mika talked about in the second annual Shenomenal brunch, there's loss everywhere. It's not just life. It could be job, it could be house, it could be anything, right? So starting with you, Camille, how do you handle, or what do you do for your emotional self-care?
Yeah. Honestly, I let myself experience my feelings. I allow myself to have the emotional experience because I know that it's not permanent. And because I know that it's not permanent, it gives me permission to fully dive in and then also fully release and not feel like I have to stay stuck in it, right? So when you talk about loss, I mean, of course, the first thing I thought was my mom. We were just talking about that. But then a breakup, right? Went through a bad breakup, cried for a week, honey. Woke up every day, cried every morning, woke up crying. Oh my God. But I had to go through it. You know, my friends were like, you know, like it's not that big of a deal. I'm like, I'm going to feel these feelings. And then once I gave myself that week, it was like, oh, okay. Like, yeah, I'm still sad about it, but it's not taking over my life. Like, it's not putting me in a position where I can't function. I can't do this. And even allowing myself to cry in the mornings or cry when it came up also allowed me to function when I wasn't crying, versus like, when you're trying to hold in tears
Suppress.
or hold in
Yes.
the feeling, and it's like it's the only thing that you can think of. It controls you more because you're not allowing yourself to move, let the energy move through your body. So my biggest emotional self-care is that I feel the feelings, I express the feelings in safe spaces, and I release them when I'm complete.
Wow. I love that you mentioned just allowing the feelings to come up because,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, I do feel like so many of us, especially as Black women, as Mika mentioned earlier, like we hold so much because it's this badge of honor, like, or it's deemed weak if you're crying too much. And it's like, no, you just got to keep moving, keep moving, keep moving. But that's when the breakdown and the shutdown happens because you keep moving and moving, moving, and your body is saying, but I have an emotional pain body that I need you to express, and you're not allowing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mika, what is your regimen or what do you do for your emotional self-care?
So dealing with loss, because you said loss specifically, I just went through it. Like she said, you have to. You got to cry. You look. Why you not crying? And here's the tricky part about crying. You want to cry to others, and others don't even want you to cry because they feel like if you cry or if they bring up your loved one or your boyfriend or your job or anything that's going to make you cry, because your people don't want to see you cry. They want to see
Right.
you okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I want us to stop that. I want us to understand that it is okay to cry. Let's just cry, girl. If your girl is crying, give her some tissues, give her a hug, whatever she needs in that space, and let her cry. And
Yeah.
definitely let's talk about it. Let's talk about the loved one who passed. I
Mm-hmm.
loved talking about my son, but nobody wanted to talk about him because it was such a touchy feeling and nobody wanted me to cry. So, look, let them cry. Um, keep your support system around, even though they may not say the right thing, because it's in those lonely, dark times. I mean, I know I wanted to check out, okay? And that's
Mm-hmm.
pretty extreme, but it's because, like, what do I do without my baby? Um, some of y'all want to check out, and some people are checking out right now. Like every day, we're hearing way more stories of people checking out than not. Check on them, sit with them, even if you don't know what to freaking say. Don't even say anything, just be there. Help them clean up, help them. So allow yourself to be nurtured by someone, whether it's just by a phone call or them showing up with something to eat. So I just say, grief looks different every day. Every year
Mm-hmm.
looks different. One year you're not going to cry, and it's going to be shocking to your system that you shed no tears. um
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Allow yourself to go through, and allow yourself to get through, and give yourself grace through every stage of it.
That
Mm-hmm.
grace.
Can I
Yes,
just
absolutely.
respond to that?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
So what? So many things, but there's two things I want to say. The first thing, that one of the last things you said, the year that you don't cry, also that's okay, right?
Mhm,
Like that's what I mean about like
Mhm.
having the
mhm,
feelings and then also letting them go. And it's like
mhm.
if you don't cry about it, it doesn't mean that it's not still important. It just means
No,
that the charge, the emotional charge is not there right now, and that's also really
that's
okay,
okay.
because that could
Mhm,
mean that you have you've accomplished some level of peace about it. And then if the
mhm.
next year you break down again, then
It's
okay.
okay. That's okay too.
But the other thing I want to
Yeah.
say about just tears and emotions in general, because I know you asked about loss, but and I kind of touched on like sadness, but one, tears are also a form of release, right? And so when
Mhm.
you say don't cry, it's like sometimes that's just a physical manifestation of the energetic energy. So allow
Mhm.
that to flow,
Do it.
allow it to
Mhm.
move. It's the same way when you have anxiety and people tell you to breathe, you're moving the energy through your body. And
Mhm.
so it's like if you're angry, breathe, cry, because
Mhm.
usually you're angry because you're sad, you're hurt about something. So
Right.
allow yourself
Right.
to experience that. If you're afraid, breathe through it, you know, like hold your heart, hold your stomach, like find a way to connect with your body and allow your body to feel the energy and move the energy. That's a huge part of actually taking care of yourself emotionally.
And then physically move.
Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm.
Just
That part.
physically moving.
Yeah.
Like, I know you want to lay in it. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine. Walk to the bathroom, take a shower,
And then go lay back down.
go back. Just do the basic things, and you don't even understand how just that movement is like healing to your
Yeah.
body, you know? So,
Yeah.
Absolutely. Kwame says grief is a process, not a 60-yard dash.
mhm.
And processes have ups and downs, and they circle back, and they
Yeah.
do.
True.
But because we're in this thing of be strong, be strong, be strong, there's a
Mhm.
guilt in allowing that emotion to come back. And it is like Mika and Camille both said, it's okay for that emotion to come back. You got to stop
Mhm.
thinking I'm supposed to be over this by now, or I still
No.
shouldn't be crying about this right now. No, what happens is that pocket of hurt got hit today, and you got to go
Mhm.
ahead and feel it,
Oh.
right?
Mhm.
Yeah. So before we go into commercial break, let's touch on your mental self-care. After I do says facts. Thank you after I do for joining. And thank you Teresa Inspire. I just want to make sure I'm hitting everybody. Thank you guys for all joining. Your mental self-care. What does that look like, and how is it supported? Mika, I'll start with you.
My mental health care, look, a long time ago, I was really going through a lot, and I read every self-help book there was it's nothing wrong with reading people's. Yeah, now y'all fancy. I got audio books and YouTube and all these things. That's fine, however you get it. But it is necessary sometimes to pay a therapist and sit on that couch. Okay. It is so necessary. Get a life coach, whatever you need to do to get to your next, because sometimes we get stagnant right here and we're like, why am I just right here? And why do I, mentally, because you need to talk it out. You need it out of you, and you need to sit and talk with someone, and you need to do some writing and journaling. You need somebody to hold you accountable. You're not going to probably do it by yourself, even though you read the book that has the journal right with you. So sometimes you need someone to help guide you. And
Yes.
look, you know, I think we're getting better in our community with when it comes to therapy. You, like I said, you guys have insurance. You've already paid for it. Just go use it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I used to actually feel guilty, like as an empowerment coach, and Telicia actually walked me through this. I used to feel guilty if I didn't know how to work through something because I could show others how to walk through it. I could help others.
Because
And
we're
Telicia,
better at giving others advice than ourselves.
yes, yes. And Camille was like, but why do you feel like you got to be able to walk yourself through it and not have the support that you give other people? And it was like the light bulb went off. I was like, oh, I can have people
And
come in and support. Yes, girl, you said that.
And therapists have therapists. Hello?
Hello.
Exactly.
Coaches,
Yes.
good
We all
coaches
need help.
have coaches as
We all
well.
need help. Mhm.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Yes. Ministers have bishops. Like everybody
Yes.
has someone that they
Accountability.
can go
That's what it
to.
is.
Accountability. Because
Mhm.
sometimes we can only go to the surface, and you need
Mhm.
somebody to help you way beneath the surface,
Mhm.
because that is where you're going to really experience that feeling. So before we go to commercial break, Camille, touch on what is your mental self-care for what does mental self-care look like for you?
Yeah, so definitely second what Mika is saying about therapist, coach, some sort of support. In addition, I really have been a lot more mindful of what I expose myself to, right? Like people think I'm so like scary or something because I don't like watching scary movies. Like it's that's like such a silly thing, but to me I'm like I don't really find any joy in subjecting myself to watching terror, watching, something so violent and all of that all the time, or just like at any level of frequency. So I'm just really mindful. Like I don't really watch the news because I think that like TV cable news, because I think that they perpetuate a lot of fear and propaganda and all of that. And that's not to say don't be informed. I'm not ill-informed. I just choose the medium through which I get my information because I think that that's also important.
Right.
And so, certain conversations, certain people that I'm not around. Like I don't scroll through Facebook as much as I used to back in the day, because a lot of people are either talking about, whatever's going on in the news, the current events, they're spewing opinions, they're spewing just
Hatred.
negative energy on, and so
Mhm.
it's just like, I don't engage with that stuff as much, because trust me, there's enough going on up here. When they say you got 5011 tabs open in your brain, that's me.
That's
Don't need anything extra.
5011 tabs, yes.
yes, absolutely, absolutely. I love that because I think sometimes people don't realize it. Like I remember my grandparents, no matter when I walked into the living room, they had on
News.
CNN, constantly negative news. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
you have to disconnect. I had to disconnect from watching ID channel all day. I had to
Oh,
disconnect from
yes.
watching
Oh,
2020
true
all day.
crime stories, like all of that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am a detective. Like understand, I can solve crimes. I'm a whole detective. Yeah,
We're gonna get Tasha
Nika,
a
you
game of Clue for her birthday. Okay.
yeah. All right, you guys sit tight. We're gonna take a quick commercial break, and when we come back, we're gonna really just continue diving deep into our self-care conversation. We are going beyond the makeup today. We'll be right back.
In a world filled with diversity, where radical faith and progressive believers come together, there's a place that's breaking all boundaries and embracing believers from all walks of life. Bullet and Flight Radio, where believers unite, boundaries break, and love triumphs.
All right. So we are back talking about just diving in deep. This is September is self-care month. But remember, you need to have self-care all throughout the year, different forms, variations, whatever, but just make sure you have a self-care routine. So hopefully the things that we're talking about today gives you an idea of maybe some things that you can begin to implement in your life. And I want to shout out our other Shenomenal sister and co-author, Denisha Jeter, because she told her, hey Keisha, she told her family the other day, I am invisible today.
Ooh.
Visible. That means don't bother me, don't talk to me, nothing. And she said her 7-year-old was like, you're not invisible because I can see you. And she said, well, let me help you with that. And so she went and just had a total day like in her room and just relaxed. And sometimes we need to do that guilt free. Like
Yeah.
I go to my mother's house. I call my mom's house my Airbnb free because I'm just going to go and relax. 9 times out of 10, she's going to cook. But like sometimes you got to have that escape plan and not feel guilty for having it, right?
Mhm.
So if you guys need to have an invisible day, take it.
Yeah.
Just be like, you know what? I'm invisible today. Exactly. So let's move into your physical self-care. I feel like I need to really put glasses on, a whole hat, go into disguise because I am not like, let's just say that my physical self-care is not where I would like it to be. It's been my lack of discipline and consistency. But one thing, shout out to Coach HJ. She did a post about the fact that like we all want to work out or eat right because we're wanting the abs, the arms, the booty, and all of that. But she said, really, that should be the bonus of working out. It really should be about how do you want to feel when you get older? Do you want your bones and your body and your organs still working for you and helping you out to live and walk the earth? Or are you just really like all about just the look? The look is really the bonus, but what are you doing physically to actually help your body function at its most optimum level? So I know I'm not doing everything that I need to do. And I'm a whole yoga instructor, y'all. So Camille, starting with you,
Well,
what is your physical, what is your physical self-care?
Okay, so like you, I'm slacking right now. I'm not even gonna hold y'all. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend. I have not been on my physical movement work as much as I should be right now, or not even should, because there's no should, as much as I would like to be. And so I am working on incorporating that back into kind of my routine within the next couple of weeks. I have a goal. I've got a goal. Okay. But the physical is more than just exercising. It's also what you're eating and putting in your body. And so while I'm not perfect, I am a French fry addict. I know it. And trust me, I know it. So to counterbalance the French fries, I have been making a more concerted effort to eat healthier things in addition to my French fries. So salads, fruits, trying to drink more water, taking vitamins and supplements, because that's the thing. I'm really proud of myself because I have been getting more consistent with that piece, because it's not just in the food, right? Like we still also need to be able to supplement the nutrients we're not getting in our food right now. So I have been better about taking my vitamins. So for me. But also I am right now just trying to be a little more mindful of what I'm putting in my body, and then I'm going to be getting back to how I'm moving my body.
Yes, my friend of mine, her husband, um, he has a 6-year streak of doing his 10,000 steps every day.
Wow.
Mm.
Wow.
I'm like, when I grow up, I want to be just like you.
Yeah.
Like just like you, right? Mika, what is your self-care? What's your physical
So
self-care
my
for yourself?
physical, of course, I could be better, better and better and better, but I'm getting better and better. So as of last week, I started to swim. So I'm starting to swim. I am walking. So today I walked because it was a little chilly and I walked my neighborhood. But I've been doing a 10,000 steps thing, and some days I hit the mark and most days I don't. Hey,
Mhm.
and I'm gentle with myself. But what I realize is, and shout out to my mother and my sister for teaching me this. This summer I had a chance to go sit in their space. And literally from sun up to sundown, these women are walking and moving and this, that, and the other, and da 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 da. And I realized I don't move that much. And
Mm.
my mother is of a certain age, and from sun up to 11 p.m. or so at night, she's just moving her body. And if we could just move, yeah, we don't move enough. So I'm
Right.
trying to do more of just moving. Even if I'm in my house, just walking around and, picking up some trash and cleaning and this, that, and the other, that's movement,
That's
So you don't even have to go to the gym. If we realize we're sitting a lot, we're in the car a lot. We're doing a lot of sedentary things. So if we just get up and move, like that's what our grandparents did. You know what I'm saying? They didn't have all
right.
that, but if they were healthy enough, they had a little bit of portions of food. They stopped eating at a certain hour. I'm working my way towards that. I'm not there yet, but I will be. So I'm giving myself grace and taking the time that I need and knowing that, mentally I have to change how I see it, what I'm thinking about it and visualizing, something better for my future because I need to be here for a while.
Mhm.
Right. Yes. My goal is
That's the
120.
goal. That's the
Yeah.
goal.
My
And
goal is
when I say a
120.
while, I want to be healthy. I don't want to be just existing and living. You know what I'm saying? I want to be here, able to move and go and do that that 90 something year old age.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yes. I
Mhm.
back in January, I was at an event where I was hi Nandi, where I was
Hey,
being
Nadi.
honored, and there was a lady there. I'm going to say young lady. It was her 99th birthday, and she was
Yes,
turning 100 the very next day. This woman walked on stage, walked up the stairs on
that's what I
stage,
want.
unassisted, and popped her collar as she strutted across the stage. Okay. She
I want
was
to be her.
99 years old.
Love that.
Exactly. I'm like,
Goals.
I need to be you. Right. One thing I will do, other than, and this is where I give myself grace because I can really work to eat very healthy. Like I intuitively eat. Sometimes my body is like, no meat right now. Usually I'm going through a spiritual up leveling when my body is rejecting meat, and I just honor that. So other than when I see a donut, I don't care what, I'm going to eat the donut. I like, I have no
Donuts are
guilt,
your French fries?
exactly. I have no guilt, no shame, but I will honor what my body is telling me in terms of food. I can't say that I do it well in terms of exercise. Like my body has literally been saying, Tasha, get up and do yoga. And I have not been honoring that space. And I can feel it in my body. So this is my opportunity to say, are you going to listen to your body, or are you going to wait till your body is louder, which means that a problem is right? So make sure you guys are tuning in, tapping in, and turning on. That's what we were when we went to see Abraham Hicks. So let's move into spiritual. Okay. And understand spiritual and religion, spirituality and religion are totally two different things. Okay. If you align them, beautiful. If you don't, beautiful. So when I say spiritual, I am not necessarily meaning like this has to be about your religion, because it doesn't. So what do you guys need? I'm going to go back to you. What is your spiritual self-care?
My spiritual self-care is just staying on the top floor, okay? When my mind wants to, or my words want to go down below, or I want to, entertain foolishness that's not high vibrational, I go up. Culturally, I'm getting to a space where my culture is my religion. You know what I'm saying? I'm for us. I know that we was given a religion that, some days work, some days don't. I'm for everybody's religion, but I just know that there's a higher power, and I tap in as often as I can. And so whenever I need me and my maker, we sit quiet, and we listen, and we get still. I go to sleep to these, nature sounds and all of these things. So I don't necessarily sit for 20 minutes every day and meditate. That's a goal of mine. I just haven't gotten there yet. But I listen to all types of preachers, all types of Abraham Hicks, Eckhart Tolle. I am open to everything that resonates with my body and spirit on any given moment. So that's me.
Yes, I love that, because so many people think that it has to come from a church, and there are so many messages out there that will turn on your spirit, that will digest in your spirit,
Honey,
that will make you feel
if
so
a
good.
homeless man got a word, I'm a receive it. You understand?
That,
I don't,
yes.
I am a person who just is about love and about growing and learning. Like, we're here to learn. I know that I'm a Christian because I was born here in this location. But if I was in China or somewhere else, I would be a different religion. So I am just open to all of it. Okay.
Right.
That's me.
You're open to what feeds your soul.
Yeah.
Period. Period.
Yes.
Period.
Camille.
And so on any day, I listen to, audiobooks. I get it from audiobooks. I get it from YouTube channels. I get it from you guys, from connecting to, I get it from my kids. Oh my God. We read the Bible. I teach them prayers. I teach them how to manifest and speak, and be intentional about their day and what they want to happen, unfold in their day. I teach them to visualize. I visualize a lot. I create the life I want to have, so that's
And
me.
I love that you bring your kids into it, because when my children were younger, I would always drive them to school with personal development playing. Okay. And I would always tell them, like, I would tell my kids, call God before you call me. If it's an emergency, call God before you call me.
I love
Because
that.
first. Yes.
Okay.
But they
Call
do,
God
even
before
when
you
they
call
look
me.
like,
I love that.
yes, if it doesn't seem like they're listening, they really are. And how I know they're listening. My son, my oldest son, was at a health fair, and he was going through a certified nurse assisting program, and he won a laptop, a Chromebook, in a raffle. But his co-student, she was really hoping she won that. And so when he won it, now you bring all electronics home. He gave it to her. And I said, why did you give it to her? He said, Mom, I have a whole computer at home. She doesn't have anything. Like, that's what she wanted. That's like the only thing she wanted to win. So he traded her product, her gift, which was a backpack. And when we came home, and I'm telling my other sons, my 14-year-old looks at me and he goes, but Mom, you always say what we give from our heart, God will replace. I was like, I'm going to go to my room. I don't need nothing thrown back in my face right now. I'm going to my room. So they
are
listen.
listening. Yes. They are.
Yes, they are listening. Camille, what is your spiritual self-care?
I love, Mika, what you said about the first thing you said. Like, I just try to keep the vibe high. I think that that's so real. I have had seasons where my practice was a lot more ritualistic and like very like I do this and I do this and I wake up and I do this and blah blah blah. And right now I'm kind of in a season where it's not that, but I also feel just as connected as I did when I was in that other season. And so it's when you said it, I was like, oh, that is kind of what it is. It's like I just as I'm mindful about what goes into my head and what things I'm around or what I'm listening to, I'm the same way about just like what is my energy creating, right? I have these alarms, and people laugh at me, but I have alarms on my phone on like the 111, like the angel number times that go off, and they're just like, what are you grateful for? And what are you creating with your energy right now? And people are like, you need to be reminded. And I'm like, no, but life happens. And so it's a really great reminder, it's a great opportunity to actually be stopped for a moment and say, oh, what am I grateful for? And so sometimes I'll ask the people that I'm around, and then it becomes this whole little like, oh, okay, I don't know. What am I grateful for? You know, it's finding ways to just always still feel connected. Like I still speak to my ancestors. I talk to my ancestors, especially my mom, like she's real sometimes, you know, or I'll talk to spirit the same way. I'm like, okay, spirit. So listen, this is what we're trying to do right now. This is where I'm at, and blah blah blah. And so that for me right now, it's just having more of a very personal friendship with my higher power, with my divine team, with my angels, with my guides in a way that is a little more casual. And I think at some point I'll go back to another season of being more structured with it. But right now it's more casual. It's more about just how do I keep myself vibrating high, operating in a space where what I'm creating is intentional and is in alignment with my bigger picture goals.
Yes, I love it. I'm going to take you guys a little bit deeper because maybe someone out there doesn't know about this. And I mentioned it earlier, just feeling things in your body. Where in your body do you feel when you're like, oh my, okay, I'm feeling this, I'm off in this way? Like where in your, because all of us are different. And I know like one of my mentors, she feels it in her arm. For me, I usually feel it around like right here, or I'll feel it here. And then once it's resolved, once I truly give it to God, I feel this calm come over me. Right. So where in your body do you feel a shift when you're like, okay, hold on, let me pause, let me bring myself back? Mika, I'll start with you.
Right here, all in here. I will be so off, and I'll be like, okay, get it, so I got to get back to me, and I will feel the most overwhelmed, the most anxious, and it's literally my spirit be like, yeah, no, this doesn't feel good right now. Go sit down. Go sit down and deal with you. Go have a moment with you. Go get back in alignment. Go, right here.
Right there.
And until I get that straight, I'm not good for nobody. You know what I'm saying? And I'm very clear about if I'm not together, I can't be good. And I have so many people pulling on me being a mom, being a wife, being a, friend, all of these things that we are to everybody. I
Mhm.
always have to make sure she's good. You understand?
Mhm.
Like I'm always loving on me first, and it's me and God. It's like, hey, you feel that? I know you feel that. What you gonna do about that? Sit
Right,
down. I'm
exactly.
gonna go lay down. I'm gonna go lay down. I'm gonna go listen to some meditation music. I'm gonna go quiet myself, and I'm gonna hear from spirit, and then we're gonna get back up, and all will be well. And if it's not, we
Right.
go back to sleep until all is well. Because yeah, I'm out of total alignment right now. It
Right.
feels big. It starts to feel
Mhm.
really big, and yeah. Hmm.
Got it. Talicia, what
Hmm.
about you? Where do you feel it in your body where you're like, whoop, there we go. I got to shift this right now.
Yeah, I'm really glad you asked that question because it gave me an opportunity to kind of really be aware for a moment. And at first I was like, oh, it's my chest, but I was like, it's not my chest. It's in my breathing. So it's like my lungs and my diaphragm
Hmm.
feel like at this constriction of like I can't catch my breath, or it's tight, but it's
Hmm.
around me moving air through my body.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And the reason why I wanted to really bring that up is because for everyone watching here
It's
live or
something
watching
different.
the replay, start to notice the things in your body. When
Hmm.
you notice it, acknowledge what just happened. What did you experience? Because your body is your biggest clue
Yep.
to what you need to stop and do.
Hmm.
Right. So for me, my spiritual self care is always listening to something positive. I love a good audiobook. Will put on YouTube in a heartbeat. But because I drive a lot, I will drive with just, me and God. What are we talking about today? And
Mm.
before I realize it, I've driven 2 hours and I've never even turned on a song or never put on an audiobook because it's just me and God. And sometimes I'm like, so God, listen, I felt like you was telling me this, but I wasn't clear. So I'm gonna need you to give me a bigger sign. Like y'all stop thinking that y'all got to be like, dear Lord Father.
Mm-mm.
Like
Mm-mm.
Hello,
that's
With
your
your
prayer.
listening. Hmm.
Right. But
spirit.
Hmm.
right. Like
It's your
so God,
maker. It's your friend. Yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
it really, really is.
Friend.
Like even when I haven't done well, I'm like, so God, I know like I wasn't listening the other day and I was entertaining the foolery. So I'm sorry. First of all, I'm sorry. That's
Right.
just number one, right? But what am I missing? Like what is my spirit, my energy, my emotion? Like what am I missing that allowed me to entertain the
Hmm.
foolery? What am
What
I
am
missing?
I supposed to learn in this moment?
My favorite
Yes.
question.
And instead of us always, why this and why no, what are you supposed to
What's the
learn? It's
learn?
it's
What's the
it's
lesson?
it's your lesson. All of
Yeah.
it's a lesson. It's not that big. It's like
Right.
just stay
My bad,
open.
Lord.
And it doesn't even have to be like a life-changing lesson.
Mm-mm, mm-mm.
Sometimes it's just like, well, you wasn't supposed to have two fries today. Like
You wasn't supposed to drink that Coke, girl, and now look.
right. Like sometimes it's a small lesson and sometimes it's a big lesson.
Sometimes it's a big one.
You ate that
Exactly.
spaghetti late, and now you got that heartburn, and you up all night. Your body keeps telling you little things, and we hard headed sometimes. It's all
Hello.
good. You're gonna
Yes.
learn.
Hello.
I
Mhm.
want to ask you guys something because we're winding down and I feel like we could go for another hour,
For
producer.
sure we could. For
Um,
sure.
but but let me ask you guys something because we have our generation and the generation above us, we have this ethic of work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard.
Mm,
This new generation, i.e., like our kids' generation, they're
child.
more like, hold on, this does not make me feel right. I'm walking away. And sometimes what we're doing is we're telling these kids, oh my God, these kids just think they can stop doing this, stop doing that. They don't know nothing about working hard. But are they
They're
onto
onto
something?
something.
Halfway, half and half, half and half.
Exactly.
It's half.
Exactly.
'Cause
I
if
agree,
we right
Camille.
now, you know what happens is when you have the extremes, you go this, it goes from one end to the other. So they're the other side of the extreme. So we just got to bring it back and find a happy medium.
I
Yes,
agree. I agree.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Because I do feel like they're onto something, but they just don't know
Let me,
how to.
we're onto something too when we start to realize we just need rest. and honor yourselves, because we will keep going till the wheels fall off, and sometimes you just need to rest. So they're in rest mode a lot because we made them very comfortable, you know. So
Right.
it is definitely that happy medium, like Camille said. They could work a little harder. You know, they got the rest thing down packed. We could rest a little more.
Yeah.
We got the
Yes.
work a little harder thing down packed, you know. So there
Right.
needs to be a great happy medium.
Because
Yes.
the thing that I noticed, and I know we're short on time, so I'll just really quick, like my little brother, he was very big on the I'm gonna relax and play these video games, but now he's in the Navy and he is also finding a level of fulfillment from some of the work that he's doing. And so it's like what they have to learn is to find the right kind of work, find the work that aligns with them. And that's what a lot of our generation hasn't done. We find the work that we can find, and then we pull ourselves for it. And it's like, no, find work that aligns with you, and it won't feel like work, and taking a rest will also be easier. So that's my
Right.
last. Okay.
You said
Absolutely,
that.
absolutely. You did. You really said that, because if you're walking in if you find what you love, you never work.
Yeah.
You just wake up and show up in your best self. Okay. So I know we are like really pushing the time. So Mika, give us like 20 seconds of how people can connect with you, follow you. How can they watch Soversations with Mika Morris, and go?
Conversations with Mika Morris on YouTube, the April and Tamika Show on YouTube and IG. Subscribe, like, share. Yes, tap in. Also on Facebook. I think I'm in the Mika Bracy, but I'm on IG, Mika Morris, and Conversations with Mika Morris. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. Telicia, go.
On the interwebs, I'm all things Camille Telicia and the Intentional Goddess. So you can find me in all of those locations. Website CamilleTelicia.com, theigoddess.com, theintentionalgoddess.com. My show Camille Over Chai is right here on Pyro Media Network on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Right? Yes.
And let me tell y'all something. Listen to Conversations, because it really does like tap into your soul. And with Camille Telicia, I cannot stress this enough. People, reach out to her and have a human design reading read for yourself. Then have it read for you and your spouse. Then have it read for you and your children, and watch how your household changes, because you really begin to understand each other on a whole different level. It's a very, very beautiful and intimate experience with those human design readings. So, ladies, thank you so much. For those of you that are interested in the retreat, because of all of my self-care, I had to listen to my body and push the retreat out. So it is going to be May 17th through 19th, 2024. My dear Mika Morris is one of my retreat facilitators. So if you want to get some of this energy from her in person, then you need to go ahead and go to shenomenal.com/retreat, reserve your spot. And you will get to have both of us along with our other Shenomenal sister, Bianca Page, and we'll be facilitating a very beautiful space for women. So thank you guys so much. I hope that you guys each walked away with something that you can do today to enhance your self-care beyond the makeup. I love you all. I'll see you guys next week. Have a beautiful Shenomenal week. Bye.
Thank you for having us.